It is mailbag time here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. It is time to touch our bags and drop our sack on this edition of the program, as we got a lot to talk about on your Kansas City Chiefs as we are nearing the end of the regular season, as DeAndre Hopkins, his role is increasing quite a bit. You had the return of Isiah Pacheco. How does this team stack up as they gear up for the postseason? We'll answer all your questions that you have for us coming up in just a bit on the program. I got to tell you, folks, I think looking at this Chiefs team, there's some promising things ahead. We'll explain what exactly that is in just a moment. Before we do, folks, I want to make sure not only you subscribe to the Chiefs Report, but you join what we call the Noti Gang around here. And you may be saying to yourself, what the hell is the Noti Gang? Those are the people that are subscribed to the channel and have their notifications turned on. So you're the first to know when we have new content. Look, last week I was out in Los Angeles, enjoying the beach, having a great time. But we had Chiefs news to get to. So what did I do? I made you guys content on my off day from the beach. So, folks, no one else is doing that. Subscribe now. Stay up to date. If we have new content, we have breaking news, doesn't matter. We're going to bring it to you. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. Spam Noti Gang if you're the Noti Gang. We'll get started with today's show. Casey Kingdom writes in, what do you expect out of DeAndre Hopkins when Hollywood Brown returns? So what I think this is going to work for Kansas City when Hollywood makes his return is that I don't think it changes anything for DeAndre Hopkins. I think DeAndre Hopkins is, without question, your wide receiver one. He is your go-to target among your receivers. Obviously, Travis is still your main go-to guy of all your skill positions. But that doesn't change. DeAndre Hopkins is still the guy, is still that main threat. And we've seen DeAndre Hopkins show a lot of promise in the last several weeks of how he's been on the same page with Patrick Mahomes and the way that they've used him. And his numbers, folks, have taken a big jump up from what he was in Tennessee. And one thing that I would also keep an eye on, just by getting another weapon into the fold with Hollywood Brown, who could be back potentially as early as Week 16, is that the Chiefs tend to love to use motion, right, and try to catch opposing defenses off guard. And I think what you see with Hopkins potentially, with some promise here, is that DHOP could be used in different ways to move him around in motion. Same with Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and just try to win at the pre-snap before you even get the play off. And Andy, he's the best in the biz for a reason, right? There's not a better offensive mind in football than Andy Reid. And Andy Reid is going to take advantage of his opposing defenses, of putting fear in their eyes just with the pre-snap capabilities of defenses having to take on the threat of DeAndre Hopkins and Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy and company there. To me, that changes everything. Who is going to be wide receiver one for the Chiefs when Hollywood Brown is healthy? I think it's pretty obvious it's DeAndre Hopkins, but some of you might say Marquise Brown. Type D-Hop for DeAndre Hopkins. Type MB for Marquise Brown. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got you covered, including tickets to see your Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe you want to go down the road to Lawrence and go watch my Kansas Jayhawks #1, baby. And I don't think that's changing anytime soon. I would love to go to Allen Fieldhouse if I could. I'd be getting my tickets on Game Time to go see the Hawks or the Chiefs. Either one. They got them all, folks. Choose the event you want to go to. Then choose your seat with their seat views. See if you like the seat or not. Get the 3D effect. And then you're checking out on Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo. They got their super deals. If you see a super deal, you don't want to pass up on that. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of the Chiefs Report. Big Red wants to know, how will the Chiefs balance both Pacheco and Hunt? So what we saw this past week against the Raiders, both guys got 7 carries apiece. But I think they were trying to ease Pacheco into it coming off the injury. But what I think is going to happen going forward with these two is that Pacheco is going to retake his role as the bell cow, as the lead back for this Chiefs team. And that's not a knock on Kareem Hunt at all, but Pacheco's a top 5 running back in the NFL. You got to use him accordingly. This Chiefs team is better when they get the most out of Isiah Pacheco. And this team has become a run-first football team with what we've seen from opposing defenses, playing the 2 high safeties and trying to defend Mahomes in the pass. They have to run the football well effectively, and Pacheco gives them their best option for success. But that doesn't mean that Kareem Hunt is going away. Kareem Hunt has shown that he can be effective as a receiver. He's very good in short yardage situations on 3rd and 4th and short. So there's still a significant role for Kareem Hunt in this offense. And we could see plenty of 2-back sets with both of them out there to hold defenses accountable and make sure that they have to keep both guys in mind. So Pacheco is still your main guy, but Kareem Hunt's not going anywhere. I think they're going to get the most out of both of them. Now, I've had a lot of truthers in the chat over the last couple of weeks say that they like Kareem Hunt more than they do Isiah Pacheco right now. Where do you guys stand? Who's the better running back right now? Is it Pacheco? Is it Hunt? Type IP for Isiah Pacheco. Type KH for Kareem Hunt. Let us know. Terrence writes in, if we don't start Humphrey, what are we going to do about our left tackle? Mahomes is not comfortable on his blind side. Great question. So you look at the offensive line depth chart right now, and at the time of this recording, we haven't seen them announce just yet that Humphreys will be the starting left tackle, but all signs point to him getting the nod come Sunday night. But if, for whatever reason, if Humphrey's not quite ready to go, then I think, for better or for worse, they roll with Wanya Morris again. And I know that experiment has not gone well, that Wanya Morris has had his struggles, but he's sure a lot better than Kingsley has shown when he's been on the football field at this point. Now, one thing we saw last week against Vegas, they moved Joe Tunney over to the left tackle spot, and Calindo played the left guard spot. That was a Band-Aid for Friday's game against Las Vegas. That's not a long-term fix. That's not a long-term solution. If you're going to be competing to win the Super Bowl, you can't do so with Band-Aids. Eventually, you got to have surgery. And I think that Humphreys is the surgery, the surgical procedure this offensive line is looking for. So Wanya would be the backup plan. I know that doesn't sound great, but hey, you're still 11-1 at this point. So I think Humphrey starts, but if not, then we'll try to go another week with Wanya Morris and see where things go from there. Bill. What's up, Bill? How do you feel about Marcus Peters returning to the Chiefs? You know, I dealt with Marcus a lot when I covered the Chiefs the first go-round. Spent a lot of time in the Chiefs locker room, and Marcus was just a mess. Never liked to talk to the media, had a bad attitude, didn't really get along with Andy and some of the guys there, and it was an unfortunate ending to his tenure, the first go-round with the Kansas City Chiefs. But we've seen Andy Reid have a very good track record of bringing back former players. In fact, ones that he didn't leave on the best of terms with. Kareem Hunt being a great example of that. And coming back those guys with something to prove, something with an edge, a bit older, a bit more mature, and finding new life, getting their careers rejuvenated. Juju, people had written off, and he's had a couple decent games this year. Look what he's done. So Marcus Peters wouldn't be my first phone call. I understand the Chiefs could use some corner help. There are options out there. I'll put it this way. If Andy and Brett feel the need that, yeah, we want Peters now, I'm not going to hold it against them. They've earned the right for me to trust their judgment on this. Would it be the move I make? Not necessarily, but they've earned our trust to make that call based on their track record of how they've handled things. Last question. Cole writes in, do the Chiefs have an opt-out of Jawaan Taylor's contract next year? He needs to be gone. Oh, man. Jawaan Taylor, that contract is atrocious. It is just awful, right? 4 years, $80 million. And I have bad news for you. There's not an opt-out next year. There's a potential opt-out in 2026, but you kind of dealt with what you got. You pretty much got to roll with Jawaan Taylor as is. So I hate that. I think it's a horrible contract. I haven't liked what I've seen from Jawaan Taylor at all. The penalties have been atrocious. He's done a bad job blocking, but it is what it is. Subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report for continuing Chiefs coverage. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.